What's up, guys? It's our wrestling podcast coming back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious along with Just the Total Package, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, and just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic, potential Hall of Fame matches. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And for video, check us out on YouTube at our wrestling channel. And could you please give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019. Jess, we have the very first ever inducted Hall of Fame match, which is obviously what?
It was Coco Beware versus Rick Martel from WrestleMania 6. Just
Fuck
kidding.
yeah, it was.
It was.
Absolutely.
So last year that
it was Power and Glory versus whoever else. I don't care.
Legion of Doom for WrestleMania 7, and they beat Power and Glory in like 30 seconds. I don't think you want that. So last year at the Hall of Fame, for forever before that, like, you know, when Vince would just put whatever in the Hall of Fame, and it's always been a debate, right? Is WWF Hall of Fame like legit, or like what? Oh, they put Coco in it. Coco was a mid-carder, and we have done a What Happened to Coco Beware.
I love Coco.
And we completely shit on that notion that Coco was anything but a legit star. Like, he worked his ass off. You know, all that stuff. So Vince started doing that, and then for a long time, fans are like, dude, you're burning through people. You know, like, how are you going to get to a point where you're just going to start putting everyone in the Hall of Fame? And then people started saying, maybe you should induct feuds. Maybe you should induct matches. Well, last year, our long roundabout point to this topic is they inducted Bret Hart versus Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13. Which is why they considered not only one of the greatest WrestleMania matches, but one of the greatest matches ever. And so the story that they told, everything else. So that leads the way. That's a big standard, right? So obviously I'm assuming that every year they're going to announce another match now. So last year was Bret and Austin. This year they have to announce. I'm assuming they're going to do it every year. Why would you just do it one year and then not do it the next?
Okay.
So there's going to be another match.
So we're going to talk about potentials, right?
Yes, potential
what's it going to be?
Matches.
So the question is, do we put any baby bumpers on this thing? Like, can we go anywhere? I mean, it's not like there's gonna be a New Japan match. Can we just say what's deserving of being in there?
Yes.
Like, could I say an Okada Omega match deserves
sure.
to be in there?
Sure.
It's not going to be though,
right? And we'll rattle off a few. But what I'm saying is, like, we did the Mount Rushmores of greatest matches of all times, and what I find out ends up happening, like with Mount Rushmores, is. Yes, you could just go online and look at cold hard facts and be like, those people have to be on it. And then all of your mountains would be the same, right? We put the stipulation on our Mount Rushmores where it's like, no, it's kind of like when we became a wrestling fan, what era was it? What touched our lives?
Sure.
What, you know, whatever. Oh, excuse me. And there was only 4 spaces on a mountain on the Mount Rushmore. So, but what I'm talking about is like, I want to talk about what not only what is going to go in this year, but what could go in and what qualifies as that. Everyone's going to really default to WrestleMania matches, right? Because that's all we grew up with. But there's so many more. To your point, there's so many New Japan matches that should be in the Hall of Fame. So WWE owns, well, I mean, they're never going to put a New Japan match in because they don't own it. And they're partners with AEW, so that's never going to go in. But WWE owns AEWA. WWE owns everything WCW, Jim Crockett, all that stuff.
TNA.
Yeah, WWF, they don't own TNA, but like they work with TNA, so they could put something like that in there if they want to honor.
The door is not closed on that.
And we have to keep in mind, too, this is going to be the second match after Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I was thinking, I think the next match is going to be, it's going to be, they want to try to do it with 2 people that are still with us, right? So I think the next match that's going to go in is a Shawn and Undertaker match. It's one of their 2 WrestleMania matches, probably their first one.
I did. I did think of that. Yeah.
But also their Hell in the Cell match from 97 should technically go in first. I think the next match that's going to go into the Hall of Fame is going to be the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels from Hell in the Cell in 1997. That's what I think. Now, I'm not saying
I give you
our first guesses. Our first guesses, Dave, should be what we think is going to go in next, and then we could just start rattling off ones that we think eventually will.
For me, that's like my version of Christmas. You know, it's like, ooh, this is gonna be so much fun.
Shawn understood that he was undersized, overmatched, and what needed to happen.
This is not a good time to be Shawn Michaels.
And man, I beat him like he owed me money.
I want to tie on to that because if this one person was still affiliated with WWE, I think you would be just off by a smidge because the Undertaker would still be in there, but it would be Undertaker and Mick Foley.
Yes.
Since
So
Mick is not affiliated,
nope. That's on my short list, right? Like I think another defining match for the WWF was Mick Foley and Undertaker from Hell in a Cell.
If he makes his way back, I think it definitely gets on a good possibility.
King of the Ring 98, right? And especially since he took a hard pass on the company and Foley's come out saying I'm not going to affiliate with them because they're affiliated with somebody else. Not to get too political, but that's what he said. So yeah, it's not going to be the Hell in a Cell. I think it's going to be Shawn Undertaker. But I think eventually,
I tend to agree with that one. Yeah, I tend to agree with that
because they're both with the company right now. Like it's good PR to do it with two guys that are with the company. I think that's next, and I'm not suggesting it's not deserving. Like it's awesome, and I think it's going to be hard to.
No, not at all.
It's going to be hard to steer away from WrestleManias, right? Like because like a lot of the big matches of the year happen at WrestleMania. You know, what's another one that comes to mind for you? Well, it's got to be WWF, not your personal thing, because your mountain, your mountain's there. But WWE's not going to put a New Japan Pro Wrestling match in. We just know this.
No, they're just not. So like when I start to think about like huge nostalgia, and it all kind of depends on where they go, because in my mind, like you said, you want someone that's still around, but I
think that they're going to go that way.
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's better to march both people outright, and they could go back and forth. I remember when you and I were doing that match together, and it's a great and all the crowd laughs or whatever.
I have a vision of a weird thing, and it all depends on how they take it. Like if you take it for the stardom of it, you take it for the billion of it, and you're thinking the house for it. There's one way to go, and then if you take the technical side of it, there's another way to go. And both matches are at WrestleMania 3. You already know where I'm going. I'm thinking a Macho Man,
Ricky Steamboat
would be a fantastic.
And that won't be next year's, but that has to be on the short list because Steamboat's still around, and I mean, it kind of sort of set what WrestleMania was.
I honestly thought, to your point, Shawn and Undertaker was going to be the one because they're both here. I thought that too. So we're on the same page. I'm just picking a different one because this is where I think it could go. If it didn't matter, but this is my really cool thing, right? Like, what if it was Hogan and Andre was their next match that they announced because of the nostalgia of it and the build? It
won't be because Hogan's passed and Andre's passed. Like, but
right,
you know what? Actually, Dave,
but I'm thinking they let Ricky speak on it.
Give me a break! Look at that! Flagrant interference from the animal pushed him right off. I think the bell rammed Savage in the head, Jess. But the champion still in control now. A small package by the Dragon. No! He got him! I can't believe it! History is made!
You talked about a miscarriage of justice, Monsoon. Flagrant outside interference on the part of Animal Steel.
History made here in the Silverdome.
Promise that match kind of thing.
They will hold it. They will hold Hogan and Andre back, not just because they're both gone, but Vince is gone too. In a sense, he's not dead, but Vince is gone, and so the only other person that could really speak on Hogan and Andre and the tension would be Vince. Like would
Bruce?
Would be Vince. Like Bruce, maybe they could pull that, but they wouldn't pull that this year. I think that they want at least one of the people that are still with.
Let's be real. Even if Vince was there, Vince wouldn't tell us shit anyway.
Be like, Dave, I would like to say that they did main event WrestleMania 3, and that's my time. Thank you. And they're up, boo, everyone's booing. Like, but it doesn't have to be WrestleMania matches either, too. Because I was thinking, like, well, I mean, I said Hell in the Cell '97, which was not at WrestleMania.
No, not at all.
It was at an In Your House, actually. I think it was it Bad Blood?
Right.
I don't remember. I can't remember which one it was, but it was an In Your House sub show. But then you have, you have other ones to me that are like kind of low hanging fruit. Like you mentioned too, Savage and Steamboat, Hulk and Andre. Hulk and Andre. I mean, two deserving matches, the early WrestleManias or whatever. I think eventually too, and I know people are going to groan, but eventually because of what it meant, Hulk and T against Piper and Orndorff is going to go in because they were the first main event ever WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
that publicity, and we're in WrestleMania season.
I don't know. That doesn't make me groan though, because I think about all the risks that was taken for that event.
Sure,
and where we are now.
And I'm releasing this in WrestleMania season on purpose, but it does not have to be a WrestleMania match. Like Austin and Brett happened to be at WrestleMania 13, and that was inducted last year. But it's not this induction is not specifically for WrestleMania. But I mean, I think, considering they're not going to put it in New Japan, not going to put it in AEW, they're not going to put a WCW match over anything else.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of matches. Let's see. Next, that I would think is, oh my God, it's right on top of my head. Fucking the ladder match. Michaels and Ramon from WrestleMania 10.
Yep.
Changed everything. Changed
right.
People that deserve also to have their match put in the Hall of Fame did so because they saw Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10, and it changed their life. It changed their whole thing. What are you thinking of one from that era?
Splash him off the 10-foot ladder.
No. He's gonna watch Shawn Michaels from high above. Oh! Unbelievable! And Shawn Michaels, as we look down on top of Michaels, Razor Ramon and the belts hanging in midair.
I mean, kind of. I mean, some people would. Some people again, you couldn't do this. You just couldn't do it. I keep going to things we can't do, but I Brett Owen at 10 as well.
That was on my short list as well.
But it won't happen. It won't happen because of Owen's wife. It's not going to happen.
Well, Brett could go out there. Brett will go. I mean, even though Brett hates he's already been put in there with Austin, so I think Brett's good for a while. And Brett's come out greatly saying even after the induction, he still does not care for Triple H all that much, and he's just sort of I think he's a phony.
When he shook his hand, that look was hilarious.
Yeah, so he probably won't be put in there from that. The next one is another obvious one, WrestleMania 17, the tables, ladders, chairs match, Hardy Boys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. Changed again.
I was thinking about that one.
Took Michaels and Ramon up to a higher level, and just a level that really kind of destroyed tag team wrestling for me, because if tag wrestling wasn't in a TLC match going forward, I'm like, boring. If it was the same, in a weird way. But it was a stellar match, man. That match just took my breath away. I remember just most of the time just going I don't know what I just saw. I don't know anything like that. It's a new era in wrestling, I guess, but it was just this amazing thing. God, there's so many other ones too.
Yeah, there's so many that you could choose from. Like the one that got me. If you want to go if you want to dig into a real recent one, I can't even explain the and I can't remember the stipulation of the rules, but it was definitely no disqualification. It was Brock versus Roman with the fucking tractor. To me, that's such a gimmick style match. Yeah,
SummerSlam 2022.
Yeah, that match could be I can't even explain it.
No, I'm glad you said that, because in a weird way,
I made memes about it.
It ushered in the Triple H era, because Vince wasn't he got brought up on all the charges at that point, and he was not in creative control of that event. He was
not around.
I want to say that event. I think that event was the first that Triple H booked, where he was fully in control. So. I think so. I still lose my mind about how controlled Brock was with that fucking tractor. He didn't get it right. He's fuck, I'm going to back it up. I'm going to re-cinch. I'm going to do this again until he got it in the air. And he did. I was like, this is fucking nuts. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in wrestling. He drove a fucking tractor in, and then he actually used the tractor
to lift the ring up and knock Roman to the other side of the ring. And by the way, Roman still beats him and retains his title for another 2 years.
He throws all the tables on top of him, all the rubbish. Remember, it was awesome.
Yes,
that was a great match.
Oh, it was the last man standing, right?
Yeah, it was last man standing. So he had to throw. Yeah, it was last man standing.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, and then he just didn't.
No, that's a great modern match to do because I feel like during that era with the Bloodline story or whatever, there was a lot of fucking epic matches that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and that was one of them. I think that flipped the switch where we're like, we're out of Vince McMahon land. We're in a new era.
Anything he wants. Lesnar's lifted up the ring with Roman Reigns in it with a damn tractor. Reigns falls out of the entire ring. This is one of the damnedest things I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like this, ever. Brock Lesnar just lifted the ring 15 feet off the ground with a damn tractor. And the champion rolled out of the ring and he's down, and the officials got to count.
It just really kind of, not to overuse that phrase, but I mean, it really reminded me, shit, dude, this is different. WWE can be fresh. It can be better. It was really crazy. Another match too that I think, again, will be way down the line, but is Royal Rumble 92, the actual match.
I was wondering if you're gonna throw a Royal
It's
Rumble,
widely regarded as one of the best Rumbles, and it's been toppled, I think, since then. There's been a couple Rumbles.
Well, that's when the actual title was on the line.
Yes,
right?
yeah, and the fact that Flair won it is a Hall of Fame thing because nobody thought, first of all, nobody thought that Ric Flair would eventually cross over, and then when he did, he brought the fucking championship from WCW with him, which blew everyone's mind.
Right.
Which also blows my mind that they botched it. By the way, that they didn't have a Hogan and Flair main event, and they didn't do any of it, and it's crazy to me that all this happened.
We talked about how that they just didn't work well together. I think.
Yeah, and it's really weird. And by the end of '92, WWE was in the trash can anyway, and they were in a rebuild phase and all that stuff. But it was just really crazy that the very end of Hulkamania, which it kind of was the end of the original run of Hulkamania, and all of that stuff, they just couldn't make Flair and Hogan work, which I think Vince was also tired. I think that 80s was a long run, man, and we're in 92, but in the beginning of 92, you could not convince me that 1992 wasn't going to be the greatest year in wrestling history because you had Ric Flair winning the Royal Rumble and winning the WWF Championship, which nobody saw. Even the wrestling nerds
arguing it, just it put the Royal Rumble on a whole other level because the winner of the Royal Rumble pretty much but that kind of set the stipulation.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The next year in 1993 was the first year that the winner would get a shot at WrestleMania, and it's been that way ever since. So.
Hulkster holding on, trying to pull him out. It's Flair from behind. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Flair did it. Yes, yes, yes. Again, I told you myself. I told you myself.
Royal Rumble.
I told you. Yes, 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 yes.
What else do you have?
It is a WrestleMania match, and I think every time we talk about it, it was really good, but it's kind of forgotten. And it's WrestleMania 20 with Angle and
that's a great match.
Guerrero. Yeah,
Guerrero.
It's a great fucking match, and Angle is pretty much Perk Angle with the mouthpiece in. He's gritty and angry.
I'm sorry, Dave. It's Peak Angle. Thank you.
His Peak Angle.
Yeah, he says it hurts his feelings when you say Perk Angle because he was really on Percocet. So he's
it hurts my feelings too every time I say it.
He's please say Peak Angle.
But I know what he was about. But I also know how much he sacrificed for us. Kurt Angle is my favorite wrestler. It's not even close. But I know why he was doing what he's doing. He destroyed his body for us. He destroyed his body so badly for us that all of his limbs are in atrophy at this moment. At least it seems to me. He's having a lot of trouble.
No, he's breaking apart. It's super sad.
Yeah. Matches like that to me just make sense. But it's something that can be on the list down the line. But like you said, I think at the end of the day, man, I think there's no way we're not talking about Shawn and Taker if they're gonna do a match.
I mean, I think that's going to be next year. I could be wrong. I can't think of anything else because again, you got to think about presentation. Both guys are still with us and all that stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of other ones too. You have Shawn. You have Taker. I mean, they're not going to do Triple H 2 years in a row, but you have Taker and Triple H, their Hell in the Cell match at WrestleMania, which blew everybody away.
Insane.
Yeah, with Shawn Michaels, a special guest referee. That was another big one that will be eventually in the Hall of Fame. And I also try to think about matches too that did change the wrestling. And kind of change the way we thought about stuff. Another match that, for quality, I will not say is the biggest one, but because WWE owns them, Bash at the Beach '96, when Hulk revealed himself as the third man.
I was wondering if you're. I almost asked if you wanted to go to WCW.
I know a lot of people will be like, no, that was more of a moment and all that stuff, which I will not disagree with you. But it was, from a match. It was supposed to be Sting, Luger, and Savage against Hall, Nash, and their mystery third guy. And then Luger gets knocked unconscious earlier, which also makes you think that it's Luger because you're like, oh, he's knocked unconscious. I get it, or whatever. And then Hulk comes down to save the day, air quotes, and he doesn't, and he drops the leg on Savage or whatever. That match did change everything. I mean, it changed the trajectory of wrestling. It put WWE on their ass for a year and made WCW the number one promotion in America, and we just rode along with the ride. And so I think obviously it's not going to be this year, but I mean it'll be eventually a match that will be put in the Hall of Fame. It changed the course of wrestling. The quality of the match wasn't anything special at all, but at the same time, it is.
But now there was Hogan Andre. It's sometimes
Hulk and Andre was not it was just arguably still the biggest main event of WrestleMania in history. It was Hogan and Andre. It changed the course of wrestling.
The biggest true draw ever. It was really the true draw.
It was really the last time that you didn't know who was going to win. And I know looking back now that sounds silly, but people were no, Hulk, Andre is going to beat Hulk. People were legitly he can't beat Andre. And that's the amazing part about wrestling. When you get in that shade of gray and you get in that, I can't see so-and-so beating so-and-so. That's the best part of pro wrestling. That's when I'm my happiest.
Yeah.
Is when I'm just oh, this is great. Oh, man. It's great.
And we've had some of that recently, with some of the Triple H era that's not now people are kind of yawning on, but I honestly don't know who's going to win this match.
And again, this is not going to be anytime recent, but eventually I think Cody and Roman from WrestleMania 40 will go in. It's one of the greatest main events to WrestleMania I've ever seen. And just such a great thing because it's not just about the wrestling in it. It's about the storyline and the drama and all that stuff. They just capped that shit. It's not going to be anytime soon. And again, I don't mean to keep drawing back to WrestleMania, but I threw a Royal Rumble in there. I'm fine. And a Hell in the Cell from, in your house.
You're good. Yeah.
Come on, Cody! Crossroads! Cover! Finished the story!
About here.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunities for matches that can go in, but and here's what I would say, just to kind of wrap it back up. We talked about it in the beginning. If I really feel if Mick was still, a part of WWE, that Hell in the Cell with Taker would go in, but since he's not, it's going to be Shawn and Taker. It's going to be that first WrestleMania match.
Yeah, it will not be Mick.
We'll do it. I think we're down. For audio fans, give us
I'm going to make sure that we release this, by the way, before WrestleMania, because one of our predictions has to be fucking right, and I'm going to get it. So I'm going to try to release this before Mania. So, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
No, you're good. I think a Shawn Taker is really the safest bet.
I think that has to be, right? Like, Sean's the director of NXT.
They're both alive. They're incredibly involved. Yeah.
Sean is the director of NXT, which is why Undertaker loves his wife, and they do a podcast. There you go. Like, that's why they're relevant.
Dude, I can go on a tangent about that all day. Have you seen
I purposely said that.
Yeah. Because you sent me, or I sent you the guy who makes.
Because I don't care for her.
Talking about it.
Most people don't care for her.
Stop.
So anyway,
Mark, nobody cares where the bodies are buried. Mark, God.
Yeah. Stupid.
For audio fans, give us a listen to Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And for video, check us out on YouTube at our wrestling channel. And please give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 for Jess and myself. This is the O.W.P signing off. Have yourself a good one.